Today, December 20th, 2024, 11:10 a.m. for the regular council meeting. If you would stand with me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Eric, let's pray in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, Lord, praising your name. We give you all the glory for the things that you have done. Thank you for all the blessings, Lord, that you've given all of us. Be with us now and give us the wisdom and the courage to do what is right. Be with all of those of us that have lost loved ones and have health problems. Give them healing and peace. And once again, thank you for all the blessings that you've given us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you for that, Eric. And the many times you've done that for us. First up, EMS line transfers and additional appropriation for vehicle repairs.
Oh shoot, Jennifer, what number are we on?
I'll have to go look myself.
I think I might
just printed it off.
Appreciate it.
I was looking to see if I had left.
Yeah, one more for you. I did, just at the end of the year. I
Here's
got a
his
couple other things
paperwork.
that I'm on the book,
I don't need that.
covers.
Thank you.
Do we- I've got
I
her
think
here.
85 will be where we start.
On the additional appropriation ordinance,
On the ordinances, yes.
on the line transfer?
There shouldn't be any that were needed resolution.
Those were
Okay.
just shown to show that they were done.
Oh, okay.
There shouldn't need any, they should all be the same.
And you said 84.
85.
85. 85 additional appropriation.
I'm probably like 10 of those.
All right.
No.
Where would you like to answer?
We want to get the additional out of the way. Here requesting an addition, I think we advertised it for 20.
20,000, yes.
Full disclosure, I don't know that I would need any because we've done a bunch of line item transfers, but I do have some outstanding invoices that I think 5 would make me happy. We're okay with that. If not, I'll make whatever we need to do work. The only thing that I have to say with that is I might have to do some out of series line item transfers and there's no more meetings. So I don't know how that would go. If I can do out of series line item transfers somehow at the end of the year, I won't need an additional appropriation. I can work with the money I've got. If I can't do out of series line item transfers, I probably need like 5 or 6,000.
Ultimately, this is out of 1151, and whatever you don't spend of the 20 goes back to 1151.
Correct.
Well, if we appropriate the 20, does that cover all what you'll need without having to jumble around line transfers and stuff like that?
I still have to do line transfers. It's just the series that they're in.
Would be fine for you then.
Like I
Because
said,
then, I mean, whatever you don't use goes back to your account. It's not.
correct. So, I was just full disclosure. I don't feel that I need any, just if I can move that way. I think last week we brought Jennifer's office quite a few line item transfers.
They're here.
We have a copy of that.
Yeah,
You guys-
so, I moved quite a bit around to kind of cover some things.
I do appreciate. I mean, we all know it's not a requirement, but it's nice to see your transparency with it. The line transfer, so everybody knows, he moved some from unemployment to EMT full time, from paramedic to PERF, vehicle purchase to equipment, the paramedic full time to EMT part time, medical equipment to building supplies, and all of those are within the same series. So those transfers are just what they've taken care of in house to take care of budgets.
Yep. So I've got some, like I said, I've got some stuff sitting, but it's up to you. If you do want to appropriate it, I don't need a full 20. If you want to appropriate the full 20, most of it's going to revert back, just so you know. But that's where we're at.
Move to approve.
So on ordinance 2024-85, hold on, I'm getting excited. You ready to be done? 2024-85, it's an ordinance for an additional appropriation from Fund 1151 EMS into the 1151 vehicle repair. An additional appropriation of 20,000 is what is requested. I would entertain a motion to approve. Eric so moved to make a motion. Johnny White has a second. Any questions or comments from the council members? If not, all in favor with a showing of hands. Any opposed? 6-0, that's passed.
And what, did you leave that amount at 20,000?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and make that since we're going back.
And then just for clarification, that was for a transmission in a 2021 Ford F-550. It's the same one that we replaced a motor in at the beginning of the year. It has 109,000 miles on it, and keep you updated on that. The motor was replaced at the beginning of the year. I think there's about 36 on the new motor, and now there's about 28 miles on the new transmission. It is back to us. It is operating. We're just waiting to put it in service. We'd like to gingerly break it in before it gets thrown back into rotation. Also, to keep you updated, we are taking delivery of a truck that we ordered last year on the 27th of December. So keeping you updated, that's the one that we got a loan for.
You get it by the end of the year.
15.
We get it the 27th of December. So we're going up to Elkhart on the 26th, then coming back on the 7th. So keep you updated on that. We already covered the additional appropriation. Just to also give you an update, I know we briefly talked about this when we did my budget as far as where my stuff was at. We finally got a contract in place with the American Red Cross for blood program. We get blood delivered to us January 10th, 9th or 10th, one of those 2 days. So that is going to raise just conversation now. It's going to raise what my medical supplies are going to have to be, but we can address that next year. But and that's one thing that I did say. I remember the budget saying this is the one thing that I didn't plan for because we hadn't had a whole lot of movement. But but thankfully we've gained traction. We're going to be carrying red pack blood cells, whole blood, and liquid plasma on our trucks. We're on a truck. I don't have enough money to do it on each truck, so we're just going to have one at station. Total cost of that's probably going to be about an additional $16,000 to $18,000 for the year, but it's well worth it.
John, I know you're gonna be walking into this soon. Did you hear about what they're doing with blood, just so you'll know? You wanna explain, or you're better at it than me, but.
So we've been working since
Summer, I think.
April, May timeframe, to carry blood at our service. Blood is the one thing that can't be simulated by medications and stuff. It's a huge jump. We're going to be the 4th service in the state to carry it. We initially got a pretty hefty additional appropriation this year, which there's still a lot of that money left sitting in our supply, but we ordered the fridge, we ordered the coolers, we ordered all the tertiary stuff for it to have it in place. But the one thing that I didn't put in my budget for the year was the expense for the blood, just because it hadn't gained traction yet. And in the last 3 weeks, we've went from being sea level to at the top of Mount Everest with this, to the point where they're delivering blood to us to carry to put into service on January 10th. So at some point, it won't be the first of the year. I'll go through what I need, but the total cost for that blood is probably going to be somewhere around $18,000 for the year, because blood expires after 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks, we've got to replenish that blood supply. We do have the ability to kind of do some transfer stuff between other services, but the problem is, being only the 4th service in the state to do this, we don't really have a large pool of people to transfer with. So it's an expense that I expect to just have at the full, $18,000 mark or so for us to do. But I think that's probably one of the best things that can happen for this service in the area as far as patient care is concerned. So
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just wanted to make sure you knew what we were talking about, because it's a pretty outstanding program that he's been working on getting, and it's going to come to us probably early 25. So just that way you're aware of it.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here today. But yeah, I don't have any trouble moving that money back.
Okay.
To get it taken care of. I appreciate your work and your work in that. I know you guys have worked on it a lot.
The only other thing I got, same thing that I bring you guys and the commissioners every year, the chart at the bottom is our end of year financials. You have the colorful pages behind that, and then you have our current cash ledger behind that. Just every year, I give you full transparency of where we are fiscally. The colorful chart, the algorithm I wrote, being pretty generous on what we're probably going to end with at the end of the year. It says we're gonna be in the 2.6 area. I don't think we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna fall somewhere around 2.58, 2.59, just full transparency. But other than that, I think everything's pretty spot on as far as that's concerned. Still got a deposit and a half left for the year. December's always a hard month because we've got Thanksgiving, which affects our billing in December, and then we have obviously Christmas and New Year's, which is gonna affect the next 2 months. But other than that, we've superseded what we brought in last year by a couple $100,000. Our run volume's up 20%. You've got 1.3 sitting in the cash ledger right now. So, but I put on there the beginning of the year balance for the last 3 years. The end of year, obviously 24 is estimated because we still have stuff coming out, and then where we've been. So if you guys have any questions on that, I'll be happy to explain it. If not, I will get out of your head.
I appreciate your always transparency of the money and your work in getting such, and more on a personal level, I thank you for your work with not only your department, but many other departments in this county and helping with things from spreadsheets to budgeting to, I know you've been around and helped a lot, so I appreciate that a lot.
Yep. All right.
Christmas.
Thank you as well. Thank you for your time.
Next up on the agenda,
Been a
Martin,
joy.
CDL fund creation.
Yeah. We had discussed that at the last meeting and then we passed it to the commissioners. And actually Zach said, he said, I don't think that's a commissioner. He said with this fund, it should be a council approval. So,
Okay, and this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the one creating for the training where they would be able to train other entities, put money in it to function much like our EMS division has a training facility. They would kind of work the same way.
exactly, yes.
So I would entertain a motion to create a fund. Are we calling it a CDL
We'll just call it CDL Training Fund.
training fund? For the CDL training fund at the highway department.
I'd make a motion to create this line for him.
I'll second.
So John White's made a motion to create the CDL training fund, and Lindy Eubanks has a second. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, that is money coming in.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's
So
something
then-
unusual for us. It's kind of nice to know that's money coming in.
Yeah, it'll be money coming in from other entities. We have some guys at the highway department who are able to train people in obtaining a CDL or commercial driver's license. So they will do that and function much like what Nick does for training paramedics and EMTs and such. With that, they will bring money in, and then that money that comes in will have to be later appropriated by the board of council. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, hand with aye. Any opposed, same sign. No, 6-0. Appreciate that. I think they would do well in that endeavor. Purdue Extension,
She had, did I hand
another
you that?
$11.
Yeah, I
It-
have,
it-
well, I
yes,
have
it's-
a copy of the resolution, but you said
Okay, that's,
email.
oh, okay, hang on then. Okay.
And they're
So in this, it's the Purdue Extension Office. Scott County Purdue Extension Office would like to request the following transfer within their 2024 budget. They request a walking transfer of $35.19, and it would come from maintenance contracts into office supplies for $22.57, from travel expenses to office supplies of $12.62 would be the total of $35.19. And I would entertain a motion to accept on resolution 2024-15. Linda Eubanks made a motion to accept. John Collins has a second. Any questions or comments from council members?
Yeah, what was that?
It's just a transfer within their budget, from two line items into office supplies for a total of $35.19.
This is Purdue. Yeah,
Purdue.
I'm sorry. I liked it.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Sign of aye. Any opposed? 6-0. I'll just pass this around too. Not very many. Wait, we can be done.
This one's already, that's one that it's already numbered, but I don't know if we have skipped that number or.
Well, we discussed this. JR and I came up with this, and when it came up for discussion, JR and I said there needed to be some work done to
Yeah.
it. And
Okay.
then we got on with other things like
Right.
budgeting and now other
Okay.
stuff. So it's just hanging out there. So you can, I mean, what I would do is just put it aside and we'll rebring it.
Sounds
when-
good. Do that in
It needs to
25.
be on our radar for
Yeah.
2025.
And it's actually a resolution that I asked the council to draft up for us, and it's regarding non-matching grants in which it would not create jobs or anything like that, that any of our county entities would be allowed to enter into a non-matching grant. Therefore, it doesn't take any county money, it doesn't create jobs or put any kind of future strain on the county if they can get a grant, much like Nick's applied for several. Many times they open those window of grants and
Yeah.
we see them, and it's troublesome for them to be able to get on our agenda, get here and get permission for it. So, I would just like to table this until 2025 and give the new members some time to hear it and consider it before it's passed. I would entertain a
I
motion.
wish we laid on the table, so.
So John Collins made a motion, we would table resolution 2024-7, and Johnny White with a second. We will table that until early 25,
Will
when
you
we'll
give me
revisit it.
changes?
I will.
Or you might have to work.
John White was the second.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ms. Jennifer, on
Yes.
this December, we signed that, because it's not signed on the back. And
It's a minute.
you want to sign?
Yeah, we need to approve them
Yeah, I
first.
think we need.
Yeah, they haven't been approved yet.
The other
yeah.
one was approved because
We-
we amended it because it had two of Marcella talking in there.
Okay.
We amended that, so she made the amendment, we'd already signed it.
Well, and they printed copies because I could not get the email to send to you guys last night.
Just ask.
Okay, yeah.
Next up on the agenda is the consideration of the attorney
My computers are.
representation for the litigation matter.
That's one they tabled.
The table, and then.
We discussed that
That'd be
prior,
great.
so I mean, I think we've all agreed on
You didn't
Mr.
vote on it.
Do we need to sign it or
We
vote?
didn't vote on the grant.
I don't think the vote on the table.
We tabled it, but we never voted.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
I,
Sidetracked.
where'd you
had
get
your
this?
second.
I've never seen
Yeah, we
this.
had the second one. It was-
Oh, well, Zach had it at
All in
commissioners
favor of
meeting
tabling the
Wednesday night.
grant?
And I
Can
thought
you
you
just make
guys,
sure I get them?
oh, I thought you had it.
No, he didn't give it to me. That's why I was like,
sorry.
we've already agreed, I don't understand.
6-0 on
Now.
tabling the grants.
Okay.
Sorry.
We got one more time.
All right, my fault.
So what, on the attorney representation, the commissioners have already signed and voted on Mr. Hansford's contract. If you remember, he's gonna just charge a very minimal per hour charge, no upfront retainer. I'm gonna pass it around. This is the first time seeing of it too. I didn't get a copy of it. So what we would need to secure Mr. Hansford on behalf of the council is a vote approving the contract, enter into the contract with him on behalf of the council, and vote to allow JR to sign into a contract with him.
If you guys want to review that, I'll move on with the next thing while we're looking at it. If you're good with that. Next up on the agenda would be the sheriff debit card approval.
Yes, during State Board of Accounts, and I think it's been a couple of years ago before I came in, the council, or the commissioners, I'm sorry, approved, and they had a policy for the credit card, for the sheriff to be able to use a debit card, because somehow there was a lot of things being, and you'll understand this much better than I do, being delivered, and somehow they were changing because to use the debit card, they could change to Amazon, which saves shipping fees. They did that. State Board of Accounts determined that the council had never approved. And since that's a fiscal area, the council should approve the approval of the sheriff having a debit card for his,
So he already has one?
as far as I'm understanding, he already has it, and it's for the commissary, I believe.
They
So,
rescinded it the other night at the commissioners.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So
so
No good now.
it's no good right now, and they send it back to us for.
mhm.
Okay.
Well, and you said it's attached to the commissary?
That's what I understand it is.
Jennifer, did we receive the sheriff's commissary report for July or the end of the year
I
already?
think we've got the July one.
Well,
So
I've never
that's-
seen a
I've never
proper
seen a
commissary
state
report.
Well,
Board of Account one.
I will
I
send
have
what
seen-
I've given, you, or what I was
You
given.
mean the bank
commissary
statements?
part, not the bank statements.
There were not bank statements, no.
I've never seen it.
Okay. I've got a one page. I thought I had send it to you in meetings.
I don't remember seeing it.
Okay.
I did
It's
reach
just
out
a one-page thing, so.
at some point, but I think it was the beginning of the year. Was it the beginning of the year or mid-year that I reached out to Mr. McGee, his attorney, and he sent me bank
About
statements.
February.
Okay, I did not get bank statements,
All right.
but I can go print that off here in a minute.
So is there a form on this or what? Are we just?
I don't have anything. I will need to see, I want to see what you want to do with that.
Do you have a copy of the policy the commissioners actually put into place first?
Not at my fingertips. I can get it.
Yeah, because I think that we would want some, I mean, as long as, I don't know that we can, alter the spending. I just want to make sure it's
Right.
clear that it's
Yeah.
to the commissary
Mhm.
and that he can spend it for those enumerated items for which he doesn't have to get council approval and appropriation for. But I think we do probably need something in writing, but I don't want to reinvent
Okay.
the wheel either. So if you
That's
could
it.
find me whatever
Okay.
the commissioner has, I'll get something for him, for the meeting.
And I would think, it- like, to know who's approved on that, to be making
Okay.
purchases also, right?
Probably,
To add on to what if we're gonna approve it, we need to know who's using it. We table this.
I make a motion to table
Yeah.
this.
Linda Eubanks has made a motion to table the sheriff debit card approval, second by John Collins. And I will say it's being tabled just to clarify some things and will be revisited at the next available meeting whenever we have a written policy to review. So, all in favor of tabling?
Was
Collins,
Okay.
6-0 on tabling.
Okay.
Next up will be the 2025 meeting schedule. Eric, you want to keep it the same?
Yeah, let me see.
I
wouldn't be able to make it on the first
couple. The only change would be the public hearing times be at 6 and then instead of 5:45 and then meetings at 6:15, which I think would be better because there's times that
But you can't get her.
I'm rushing to
Yeah.
get here, but. it
So
may
you
not
wanna
be my
change it to
problem next year.
6:15?
That's what it says
Okay. 6 and 6:15. Okay.
on here. So,
John, you want
you good with that?
Yeah. I'll never-
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a copy.
Yeah.
You can have my copy, John.
Put Robin in it, please.
John Collins has made a motion to approve the meeting dates for 2025.
I'll second.
By
Okay.
John White beat me to it. He's the second. Everybody in agreement or any questions or comments? All approve of the meeting down there? Good, you good? The meetings in time for 25. You in or out?
I'm good for meetings.
Oh, okay.
6-0. We had to convince Eric of that one.
Eric's afraid he's going to have to show back up.
Oh.
That's what he's worried about.
What do you have on salary ordinance amendments?
I didn't know if you wanted to do, because you talked about putting a person back in mind, and then there was a question about the part-time. For the,
So, Commissioner.
but nothing's been advertised and it
Right.
can't now till the
Yeah.
first of the year. so.
Commissioner Julian, or Rainey, is going to get, or hopefully getting the job description of
He's
the
got
current position of yours, and then see if he wants to change anything, and then send it to me. I told him I would get it to everybody, see if they want to change anything. If not, we gotta send it back to, yeah, them people. I can never remember. Get that approved, and then I think we could move forward with that probably early.
But I think there's also gonna be a couple more changes too regarding the election board, right? And a stipend there, and then I'm looking at the code that you sent me for a stipend, honestly.
Yeah, the per diem.
I put it to after Christmas.
Okay, I was going to say, I just think
I've
what I
glanced
had.
at it,
It'll
but
probably.
I think that they
be
need.
25.
Okay.
covered. And then what was the part-time? Is that for your office or somewhere else? You said something about part-time somewhere.
Well, part-time for the
Sheriff.
jail probably needs to
Oh,
be
yeah.
amended
Well, that-
because
To add just the hourly
the
rate
hourly rate to
I
it.
don't know.
and
if we have to-
specified, you know.
I don't know if we have to amend it. I mean, if you get ordered to pay somebody.
Yeah. Well, I think we should though, because I mean, if
Zero.
just
if the
Same
order
thing.
is for $25,000, she needs to know that the hourly rate is to pay them. I trust that you know because it's a HR issue.
Should be the
but-
same thing as what we had, right?
Yeah.
Not
Just
really,
losing-
because we're paying them $2 more than what's on the salary ordinance already. because the salary ordinance says 22.97
Well, it didn't say anything right now. This year though.
for
what did it say?
24.
Yeah,
Well, that's what they should
They're
be.
being paid $24
yeah.
something.
They're paying.
Why is
So-
that?
I'm not sure.
We
I'm
have asked
certain
them
on
2 or
that.
3
I'll have
times. No way.
Well, I mean, their pay is whatever.
Is on the salary ordinance.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently it isn't.
Okay.
And none of us made that decision, someone else did, so. If they're gonna go on the salary
Back to
ordinance,
the 2024 salary ordinance.
The actual one, not what they're paying.
I mean,
I don't know that's what you want to do because you're saying that's $2 more than what you decided on.
no, on the
No.
salary ordinance.
Salary ordinance is 22.
$22.
They're being
Okay.
paid
They're being
24.
paid
Okay.
24.
So they're
Okay.
being paid more than what the
Okay.
salary ordinance.
We did not vote to do
voted
that.
None of us
Okay.
understands why that happened.
Well, and I'm not sure either because, like I said, I was not involved in the salary ordinance part of that
But who
year,
put
so I
the
don't know what
pay in
happened.
that?
Trina does.
Okay.
So I don't know if there was a lack of communication. I don't know what happened, what fell through
I
on
know
that.
in 3 different meetings I've asked and I've never got an answer.
Well, could you make sure that gets advertised for
It will absolutely
January?
get
And then
done.
I will make a proposal on I guess, we need a stipend for the election board. And then I want to look at that statute and probably make a proposal about a stipend if it's appropriate under that new statute. Because there's a new statute about stipends for the auditor's office if they're acting for their secretarial work. So
Okay.
I'll look at that.
Alright.
I make a motion to table the salary ordinance
Okay.
amendments.
Lindy made a motion to table the salary ordinance amendments.
Second.
John Collins makes a second.
Do it now.
Any questions or comments from the council? All in favor of tabling? Any opposed? 6-0. Consideration of minutes, regular meeting, November 12th, special joint meeting was the 6th of November and the 14th of November.
I move we approve all minutes.
Those changes were made on.
Yes.
Going around. John Collins made a motion to
I second.
approve all the minutes. John Miller sneaking in with a second down there. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? 6-0 on that. If you guys have a chance to look over the attorney representation letter, do you want to review it for a second? Jennifer, I don't know if you can see your email, but while we were in here during this time, we received an email from the commissioner president asking if a whole list of invoices can be paid by the end of the year.
Were those SNL? Okay, I know one of them absolutely can be.
The courthouse one
Yes. The
No.
others, I'm not sure if there's funding there.
for
I'll have to see.
$861.80.
We just gave them,
I know, and it's just gonna see how much.
So what do you want to do? You don't know?
We can't do additional appropriation. Is there any lines to transfer?
That's where we have not had time to go back and look and see if there's transfers that can be made. If there are, we can do that and have it done by the end of the year. If not, it'll be the first of the year. We'll have to pay it for first thing of the
That's-
year.
In the last meeting though, he said all the invoices and all the bills are taken care of and paid. So this was like 7 or 8 invoices. Was they turned in at that time? Were they not turned in at that time? Or
I have not. I just sent those because I just got them this morning too. I sent them to Mandy. I don't know if Mandy's received them. I haven't received those, but I mean, Mandy sees them and I don't always. But those were sent to me by Mike, so I don't know.
they were sent from SML to Mike from the.
Yes.
I just want to make really clear, and I know you guys understand this, but we just, as we're sitting here, just get the email with these invoices. We can't, if there's no money in the fund, we have to advertise for 10 days, have a public hearing, come in and have a ordinance for an additional appropriation. So I think the best thing, I mean, we're not going to be able to do anything at this meeting.
We're
So
at the-
unless you can find some lines within the
Yes.
same category that can be transferred.
that's
To piggyback off of that, I've said before and I'll say it again for whoever's watching. Bills are not the responsibility of this board. This board sets budgets and approves or denies additional appropriations. So if we have spent money in this county without the money being there, somebody else has messed up.
right.
But this board does not pay bills. This board only sets budgets, which our department heads are expected to live within the means of, or come and talk to us and ask for additional appropriations thereof. So I know there's a misnomer that the big mean council's not paying the bills, but that's,
We don't write the
We
checks,
don't
we
write the
don't sign
checks
the
at all.
checks, we don't do
And the
that.
auditor can only write the checks when there's money there, so
Correct.
that's where we,
you good with this.
I am good with that, yes.
So with everybody having a moment to review the agreement for legal services and the representation.
I'd make a motion that we, enter into that contract and stay.
So Johnny White made a motion to sign a contract with a second by John Miller. All in favor of me signing this? Any opposed?
That's your opportunity for a no.
I'm sorry.
You
If you don't care, pass it on to see if we can get it signed and back.
think that's funny? I had a commissioner one time do it. I was like,
Oh, that needs to get passed for signatures.
So we have some signatures to do, but with that, I would entertain a motion.
I sure
Oh, I don't-
I didn't realize you didn't have
Actually,
it.
hold
The
on,
way
I
I
got one
understood
more thing.
Zach, I
Sorry
thought you
about
guys
that
had already seen it, so I'm sorry.
You guys have something now. Before we adjourn and get out of here, we had some plaques made for both Lindy Eubanks and Eric, if you pass that to him. On behalf of the council and the county, I appreciate your dedication and service to this board, and you guys will be truly missed.
Just
Although,
so nobody knows, says anything wrong, it was, the money was come out of everybody's pocket here, and nothing out of the county, so.
That makes it even more special, thank you.
all right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Johnny White's made a motion to adjourn. John Miller with the second. All in favor of adjourning this meeting?
Yes, please.
Any opposed? Eric Gillespie, John Collins. All right, you're out. You're overruled. We're adjourned.
The final no.
Final no.
Are we off?
Not yet.
No.